You won't worry about that after a while. All right, welcome to episode, I believe it's 37 of the Retro Bar podcast. First one of 2023. We've been on a little break. Paul's been away. And to be honest, I really didn't plan to do any till he got back. I think he might even be back today, but we're going to wait till he gets back. I have a couple people lined up. We didn't set any dates yet, but when I had the opportunity to do this one on my own, I could hardly turn it down. Our guest today, straight from the Ephrata VFW where I met her. I'm sure she's got more to her than that, but Alyssa Morabito.
Hello, world, and all that inhabit.
She's a little subdued this morning. She had a big night last night, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah.
It might be a good thing she's a little subdued.
Honestly, maybe.
It might be.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess we'll start out like we start out with everybody else, and only because I know this, we're going to start out at the day you were born.
The day I was born.
Where exactly were you born?
I was born on the sidewalk.
Now, that doesn't capture your attention, and I don't know what that is.
In the middle of, I guess it was in the middle of January. I was born on the 12th. My mom did not make it in to the hospital.
So it was even cold out.
Yeah.
Like, I pictured this being in summer.
My mom, my grandma was driving her. I was her first kid. She didn't know what labor really was. She just was in it for a long time. They pulled up, my head dropped out. They threw my mom on the sidewalk. My grandma gave birth to me, and then the doctors didn't believe her. They thought that my grandma was a crazy lady until they saw.
So you went from the sidewalk to the hospital then?
We went to the hospital, and I was born outside of the hospital on the sidewalk.
But you went.
They did.
You didn't go back home then.
No. I sure hope not. Like, shoot, my poor mother's probably traumatized. I would be.
Well, but in the old days, I mean, probably what's the point of spending money at the hospital if the deed's already done?
I know. I heard some people would literally give birth and then go back and work on the fields. Like, shoot.
Yeah, we were tough. Well, not me, but.
That's some serious willpower.
No, it's just the way it was.
I just struggled getting out of bed.
So where, and you don't have to give me the exact address, but was the sidewalk in Lancaster?
Yeah, it used to be, was St. Joseph's, I think, at the time.
Oh, yeah, there was a hospital,
and then it was
Joe's.
Then they changed it into Pinnacle, and then they shut down. My birth spot is still there.
Is it marked with a plaque or anything?
I wish. Concrete holds.
Maybe chalk out.
this big circle. Yeah. Every day that we drove by that hospital, my mom would pull over and be like, "This is where you're born." And I was like, "Yeah, Heather, I get it now." It's stuck in there.
You basically then grew up in Lancaster. Like you didn't come from a neighboring state or anything.
No. Well, so I lived in King of Prussia for a time because my family's originally from Philly. We're our own special breed down there. My family has
from Little Italy, or
I'm honestly not sure where we're from, but we have a bread factory in Norristown.
Still?
Yeah, Morabito bread.
Really?
Yeah, they sell it at Wegmans. That's basically the only place you can get around here.
So you're actually still a relative of yours owns it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. My biological grandfather was actually a bank robber. The gentleman bank robber.
I hope you're not outing him right here on this.
Oh, no. He went to jail for it. He did. Okay. He did his time. He's good. I mean, as good as you can get for spending 16 years in prison for robbing over 30 banks.
30 banks?
Yeah.
It took him 30 to get caught?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. My grandma has the news articles. Very interesting man.
Not one you want to model your life after.
No, but he's
cool. If you're young out there.
I mean, he really is a cool dude. I mean, I get it.
So he's still alive? Yeah. See, I say that with sort of amazement, but a lot of times when I talk to people your age, I have a hard time thinking we're different ages. So I'm thinking my grandpa isn't alive anymore. How is yours? But the fact is, he's probably only as old as me. Yeah,
basically. My life, it's very interesting. I only found out about him being a bank robber because I really did not. I grew up thinking that my pop-up was my grandfather. Now, I did not put two and two together. It did confuse me on why we did have different last names. That should have been the dead ringer, but I never frickin' asked. My grandma was married 5 times too before that, so it got a little muddy.
So yeah, you have to go to 68 different places on Christmas.
My grandma makes us avoid certain places for certain reasons, but yes. It's our family's very interesting once we all get together. Both sides.
Some of them still live down in the Philly.
Yeah. My grandparents live in Doylestown currently. It's a great little town. Lots of...
Yeah, that actually is a nice town.
It is. They don't live in the city. Like, it's a small city too. Yeah. There's not like a whole lot there. They're like right before it.
But awesome. Your mom ended up here at some point.
Yeah. My dad had worked at Kemp's Ice Cream before they shut down. Yeah. Like, he was like some upper level management part of that, and that's why we moved here. I'm pretty sure it was when I was like 5.
Usually, I would say the reason people move places is either the rest of their family's there or it's to do with a job.
Yeah, 95. Yeah, you're right. Like, there's not a lot of people that just pick up and like, well, nowadays maybe more than most. But yeah, that's why.
So then you were here. You went to Hempfield.
I went to Hempfield. Yes, I was on. I was in Landisville Elementary. I was on the campus my entire life. Hempy has a great place. Totally.
And when you were in school, and this is, you might have not had a clue, because I never had a clue what I wanted to do, but what was your ambition in life?
Oh, honestly, oh my God, I don't know. I wanted to do psychology for a long time. I did dabble in the field. I learned I'm not good at setting boundaries. I want to help too much. I can't uninvest myself. So that wasn't like the best line of work for me.
Well, right, because you would get too deeply involved in all your clients.
Yes.
And then, like, if you don't already, you would probably need a psychologist.
Yeah.
Because you almost have to build it. It almost has to be a unemotional kind of. If you're in that field, you would have to do it without any.
Without any attachments.
Yeah.
There's no boundaries you can cross. I did work with some PTSD vets for a while, and we did we had a Dungeons and Dragons group that was really, really fun. That's when I learned that I cannot invest myself from that. They're great guys.
Where was the Dungeons and Dragons? At a
clinic
or at just a?
It was just an apartment building with one of the guys that had been counseling with the guy that I was shadowing with. And he had a lot of trauma from being in the war as like a ranger, Army Ranger or whatever. And we all just built this Dungeons and Dragons group after a time and spent hours playing it.
So when you were actually employed by somewhere that you did this shadow?
I was like more of a
volunteer kind of.
Yeah, I was like overshadowing.
But you were assigned to somebody by an organization.
Well, actually, it was kind of like
out of random. And
it kind of actually was. It kind of actually did work that way.
You might have almost been like considered a stalker as opposed to a
shadow. My aunt was really good friends with him. She had met him. I forget how she met him. But we got along really well, and he was in like the field that I thought I wanted to go into. So I did like shadowing work with him to kind of put my foot in the door and see if I liked it or not. And I did like it. But it was, I knew who I was.
Right.
I know who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, I do want to.
Somebody does.
I know. You got to be self-aware when you're me. Like.
Right.
You have to be. Eventually, I do want to have. Like, I grew up. My family owned a bar growing up. Eventually, want to have my own place. Every single person in my family is actually owned a bar.
What and where was the bar?
So, we had the bar. It was It was on. It was the Fulton Bar on North Plum Street. An old historical bar. It was a main staple in the community for years and years and years, and that part of the city at the time was just going downhill, and the bar itself was just not. It was getting overrun with like a lot of. It became a
shady character.
Yeah, that like seriously, it was like the last bit of it was before things started getting like nicer down there, and they started.
Is the building there, and is it something else now?
It is still there. We actually sold it to Rob Burrito.
Okay.
The burrito guy.
Right.
He's real sketchy.
He was one of your customers.
He didn't get any of the proper permits or anything. He wanted to make it a whiskery and a burrito place. He has a history of condemned buildings. Like from here, York, like one of them's always. Anyways, he started doing work on the place without any permits. And the police were watching him, then he got the building condemned. So now it's just sitting in limbo.
Oh, so
there's nothing we can do with it because of his business.
So you still own the building?
No, he owns the building.
Least, yeah, so
but I don't know how it came to him not being able to do anything with it. Just it had to be like we sold the liquor license to him and everything. I don't know if he's still. I actually never asked. Maybe I should ask
where that liquor license
where all that went. Because as soon as they found out, I don't even think it was a couple months after him having it too.
Oh, so
it didn't even like get like started up. Yeah. It was a interesting time.
So you, well, here was an interesting thing that I had a hard time wrapping my head around when you told me, but you played lacrosse.
Yeah, when we first
and I don't know why. I just
when I first started, when I was in middle school, lacrosse just became a thing for girls. Okay. Like really, like well, it was like a newer sport.
I was in high school. I don't even know that I ever heard of lacrosse.
Yeah, I guess it is like a newer sport.
Well,
I think it's just going to the Olympics now too, or something like that.
Might be, but yeah. That being said, when I was in high school, we didn't even have a soccer team. So.
Really?
No.
What?
No, we never played soccer in gym.
What did you guys do in gym then?
Well, we played field hockey, flag football, dodgeball, which I hated.
Dodgeball? You hated dodgeball?
I hated. One time I got hit in the eye with this ball about this big, like a 4-square ball, but small. And I reaced up and I felt my eye emerging from in my, like it got like
that's how Brent feels this morning. How you feeling, Brent? Man, that stripper hit him with her titty so hard.
So you went to a strip club?
Yeah.
The night before your very first podcast?
So I literally, So I put 2 and 2 together and I did not think about it. Brent did text me this morning and said his head is pounding. I think that stripper's boob knocked the life out of him. I have never seen a grown man get hit with a tit, but I did last night.
So that's off your bucket list.
Yeah, I didn't even know it needed to be there.
Here's an interesting thing. I have never, ever in my life, for any reason, been in any strip club.
Really?
No.
All right. Honestly, the first one I went to, it was when I first turned 18, and it was Al's. Because, I feel like it's a rite of passage. Like, as soon as you turn 18, you gotta go to the strip club. You gotta see it.
Well, when I was 18, I don't even know where that would have been, other than maybe some private clubs like the Reinhold's Athletic Association.
Or like the Gentlemen's Club in Columbia.
I'm not so sure I would have really wanted to go in and see what's dancing.
I can't know. I mean, I guess it is. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I've never been to that place, and it was interesting. It was a good. I've been to some sketchy strip clubs, but that one was all around.
All right, then.
Yeah. It was a new one for me.
So you got that done, and in a mere 10 days or so, you're going to be the first individual that has a trivia event night.
I know! Everyone's so excited about it. I keep getting asked, they're like, when's your trivia?
No, it isn't, just to clarify, it's in her honor, but it's really not trivia questions about her.
Kelly likes to ask very complicated trivia questions that makes my brain hurt. I think the first one that I remember, and I was like, what is this? Was when you said, it was the show with the horse.
Mr. Ed.
Yeah, Mr. Ed.
I asked it, and I can share this because I won't use the same one at the VFW because there's people that overlap, but you tell her your question, then I'm going to ask you another one.
It was about what was it? It was about like the voice of Mr. Ed or who played Mr. Ed or something about Mr. Ed. And I was like, first off, never heard of this. And I swear to God, you're like, it was like 1904. And I'm like,
no.
I might be a little dramatic.
Probably in the 70s.
Are you serious? Okay.
60s, 70s.
And that's when...
Still on TV today, on MeTV probably.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I really got to check this out, but I feel like the horse is going to scare me because...
No, he's not a scary horse.
Is it a real horse?
Oh, it's a real horse.
Oh, it's a real horse.
The question I asked this past week at the Legion was to tell me the name of the TV character, real live living TV character whose real name was Bamboo Harvester. And people were like, you know, I don't know that anybody got it right, because I don't know if they're trying. I heard people saying, who would name their kid Bamboo Harvester?
Yeah, that's what I would think.
So but it was Mr. Ed's. That was Mr. Ed's. Mr. Ed's real name was Bamboo Harvester. I didn't know it till I found the question. Like most of my trivia questions, to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't do good at my own trivia.
Yeah, you always tell me that. You're like,
no,
I don't actually know.
I would know some things, but I would, because I have the answers, I appear way smarter than I really am.
Then some of them really knock me out of the park.
Well, and I feel somewhat honored that you normally aren't there working on a Monday, but yet you make it there almost every Monday.
Yeah, I do. I love to feel stupid. It feels good.
And I'm glad for it. We need as many people as we can get it to the end.
I know. I love trivia night. It's my favorite night of the week. I unfortunately missed it this Monday because, I was like just working a bunch.
Well, no, that's safe. People do have other lives.
I know, but like I always miss the good stuff. Like when I was
Well, there
sick,
was a good question this week.
About the frickin' the guinea pig thing?
No, well, that was all.
That was,
But there was even far better. The final bonus question was, what does a spermologer collect? And then I led into it with, I'm going to tell you this before I even ask the question, your answer does not start with the letter S.
Oh, I was going to say sperm.
Well, that's what you think. It actually, weirdly enough, is they collect trivia.
What? What do you mean they collect?
I apparently, only because it's my job, am a spermologer.
Don't ever tell people.
Oh, they all know it now. Everybody is there.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm a spermologist.
Glad to meet you.
What kind of name is that?
I don't know. I don't know why that is what it is. But then somebody in the audience looked it up, and apparently it's also could remotely be a person who collects seeds. Or at least maybe plant seeds. I don't know.
That is not the way I would go with that.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't research that far, but it was weird enough that I asked it, and I knew, I figured it would cause a little chuckling.
Yes.
Which is part of my show. I mean, it's not all about knowing stuff. It's about laughing about stuff.
Wow, I cannot. Wow, that's a new one. When you sent me the guinea pig question, I was like, man, I did not know that people ate guinea pigs or tree chickens, lizards.
Lizards.
Yeah, when they fall out of trees.
Well, the other countries eat. I mean, just because we don't. Well, there are people. My grandpa used to raise guinea pigs to sell to restaurants in New York City. So apparently, people.
But aren't they? They're like nice social animals.
Well, so probably is a steer if you get to know it, or
I could have a cow.
A chicken.
Yeah, they. All right, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean,
I think it's just because it's little and fluffy.
Yeah, well, but
like.
So's a rabbit.
You just cook that thing. You just like. Ugh.
Well, it appears like you. Well, I guess you could probably boil them. They seem to. It's
like a lobster.
Well, you probably kill them first.
It's awful. How do you get into the business of raising guinea pigs?
Well, they're probably they're I don't know, maybe.
Do they still eat them now here? Is that a thing?
Well, I would imagine. I would imagine in Peru the reason that they're a staple food is they must run wild.
I guess, yeah, they would be overpopulated with them.
So they, it was if you're hungry enough.
I think they're like invasive species because not porcupines, hedgehogs are like invasive.
Well, and rabbits are.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I guess they could be. They eat like crops and stuff.
Yeah.
And
really, I guess anything that becomes somewhat feral, cats. Australia hates cats.
Do they really?
Well, they'll kill any cat they see because they went over there. Somehow they got over there, and then once they were over there, they started killing all like the rabbits and the.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. They're like isolated on like an
island. And if they're wild, they got to eat. So they eat whatever they can eat.
Huh.
Much like a person, if you were faced with starving, I mean, you wouldn't be picky at some point.
Yeah, I guess if there's like an apocalypse, I'm going to eat that cricket.
You think now you're, well, I'd never eat that.
Have you ever watched did you watch The Last of Us? Or have you? Okay. I think you'd like it. It's like, it's about mushrooms, basically, like cordyceps. Like, you know, the fungus. You ever see like the insects getting taken over by like a fungus inside?
Like a parasite.
Yeah, it's that. It's like a cordyceps that had evolved to do it like to humans, and it's freaking insane. I actually think you'd be very interested in it. It's a really good show. I don't know why I thought about that.
I mean, number one, I don't have much time. Well, and mainly because I'm always doing something else.
Yeah, I guess that you're always up or doing trivia
or when I get home and turn the TV on, I usually stay awake for about 5 seconds.
You close your eyes.
Yeah, and then I'm asleep.
I was like, Sharon and I were talking about that.
I tried to, I really was interested in Ancient Aliens when we came home from the VFW last night because it's my go-to show. But lo and behold, it was probably only 8 o'clock, and I bet I saw 5 minutes and fell asleep. You probably weren't even at the strip club by that time yet.
I was hardly getting off my couch. I was so late. I have no concept of time.
I mean, even when I was younger, I was not a late night person, really. I mean, I would rather start, especially nowadays. You know, if I'm gonna go out and mill about the area for 8 hours, I'd rather start at noon and be done by 8 than go out at 8 and get done at 3.
I don't tend to stay out late anymore as much as I used to. There's days here and there. I regret it every time I do. But last night that was fun. That was totally fun. I was late. Okay, it wasn't really super late. I was late getting the 2 other people that were coming with me, and like they were already out. So like, but I did miss. You had to
refocus them.
Yeah, I did miss Brent's lap dance, which apparently was like hysterical, and I'm really bummed out about that. And they only get like 1 person on stage per night or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't know that.
I have to plead ignorance to that.
But
you know, my excitement last night at the VFW, they had chicken and waffles.
I know.
I don't eat chicken. I'm not.
Yeah, I know. It's too bristly.
I made a special request that I thought was this close to getting honored. I said, you know, I don't eat chicken, but I said, could I ask for a VFW burger, but to put it on 2 waffles instead of a bun? I just wanted to be stupid. I wanted to take a picture. Yeah, like a waffles, like instead of waffles and ice cream, it would have been waffles with a VFW burger in it.
Did you get it?
Well, Jess went back and asked, and thought it was going to happen, but then she said, I got to change your order. I said, all right, well, I'll take a roll. I wanted to be stupid. I wanted to take a picture of it. But they probably, I guess, 1 of 2 things. Either they wanted to save their waffles for the chicken waffles.
Yeah.
Or if I did take a picture of it, then everybody and their brother's going to want a waffle burger. And maybe it could be next month's special.
That would actually that's like a really great idea.
All my food ideas are top notch.
Yeah. That's like getting a McGriddle, but instead of the pancake thing. Yeah,
it would be 2 waffles.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I used to eat, when we haven't gotten for a long time, but Legos, Egos. Legos.
I immediately am thinking about bricks.
I didn't eat Legos. I ate Egos. But the waffles, and but I would make like an egg and cheese and bacon sandwich out of the Egos. Like it would be
That's a great idea. I would never have thought of replacing.
I actually should probably be in the restaurant rescue business.
That would
menu rescue.
Kelly's bar rescue.
Menu rescue.
Could you imagine? Comes with trivia questions every night.
Yep.
Where the food originated from. Then bonus, you get $5 off your order.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, but I'm good at coming up, and everybody thinks what I come up with is like horrible. Like, why would you eat that? But when you eat it, it's actually not bad.
Not that bad. Yeah. No, that actually sounds like a good idea.
So did you ever aspire, and I wasn't I went to Penn State Berks for 2 years. It didn't do a damn thing for me, but did you have any aspirations of ever going to college? Or
I did college for a little bit, did not. It's not that I didn't love it. Like, I just didn't know what I really wanted.
Did you see the worth in it? I mean, because once you go to college, you're spending money.
Yeah, I think it was more of, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I feel like sometimes there was always an expectation that everybody goes
Which is
from high school
which is
to
a
college.
shitty expectation.
And at the age of 18, I didn't even know who I was.
Right.
So like, or what I really wanted to do. I feel like that at that age, like, yes, it's too young to really, really know. And that's where like, and I've had plenty of friends that had parents that like push them to go to school and stuff, and then go into a field and then just constantly switch out majors and drop out because I feel
every
like,
time you do that, it's more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a waste of time to try and put myself in that position when I couldn't even figure out.
I really honestly, I mean, not to say, I mean, there are some kids who, you know, have some kind of real idea of what they want to do, and good for them. I think overall, though, wouldn't be a bad idea to make it like, okay, before anybody goes to college, they have to work for a year or two at whatever they want to work at, just to like figure out and see what the real world really is before they go to college.
That's actually like a good idea.
And then they could at that point say, well, by working here, this is what I want to do, or I know for sure this ain't what I want to do.
Yeah.
But you would be out amongst people, adults of all ages, who could maybe, you know, hey, here's what I would do if I were you. Where, you know, going right from high school to college, you never experienced the real world. So you think, when you're in college, you think life after college is just going to be the same kind of thing, when it's not. You know,
And they always try to like be like, at least when I at Henfield, they'd be like, college is going to be much harder than this, blah, 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 pushed us for it. It really wasn't. No. And then you get there.
And you didn't really even need to be necessarily like they didn't, like when I went to Berks campus, they didn't take attendance.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They had your money. They didn't care if you showed up or not. And I'll be perfectly honest, at the beginning of we did trimesters, but they would give you the outline of the whole course. So you knew when tests were going to be. So I honestly, in spring, when it was nice out, I would go the day before a test and the day of the test. And other than that, I would never show up. But you could still pass. Yeah. I mean, I actually didn't get bad grades in college. You know,
Kelly's opening up a college program.
Here, you study on your own. Show up. We'll go over it the day before and we'll take a test. And you know, it's always was my opinion. Same with like not that I ever wanted to be a nurse but all these tests, all these careers where you have to take tests to get certified. But before you do that, they require you go take a year worth of classes. Well, if you can show up and pass that test, what is the point of going through all that preliminary schooling?
I know, right?
I mean, if you know the information, however you know it, that's really all that should matter.
Yeah, like I feel like if you're not going to be hands-on with it.
But the thing is, then...
Like my sister said she didn't really start learning things until she knew things, but once she started doing her like labs and like they started taking, like my sister is a nurse, like she knew she wanted to do nursing, like immediately when
and that's really, I mean, honestly, any career in life, you can only learn so much in a book.
Yeah,
because you'll never be able to experience what might get thrown at you in a real life day on the job. So, you know.
And one of my other little sisters wants to be a math teacher, is going to be a math teacher because she had like an awesome math teacher that like loved her, and like actually they're very good friends, and it was like a part of her family.
And that's great.
And that's how like she kind of fell into it. And Madison, like my other little sister,
how many? Okay.
I got three sisters. I have three of them. The twins are 22, and then my other sister Alexis is 20. She'll be 27 in August.
And you're what?
28.
Yeah, I thought you were. Well, yeah, you said you were the oldest.
Yeah. Maddie
born in 1995.
In 95.
That's why the trivia is anything that's happened since 1995.
Yeah, seriously, I need something that I know. Like, I'm so confident in some of my answers, and they are wrong. But there's other times that I am right, and everyone's like, "Oh, Alyssa," and I'm like, I said that. Like I said that. That's right.
Maybe you ought to get your own answer sheet. Be on your own team.
No, that would go horribly.
You might be surprised.
I literally have to yell at one of our customers when I need to do math fast and ask him to add for me. I'm like, what's 18 plus 18, Dan?
Yeah, but there's rarely a trivia question that has to do with math.
You've got
every
a
now
couple
and then, but
questions.
Not that you have to add fast.
You did like a lot of music stuff too. Do you like music a lot?
No, I mean I know a little bit about, I'm going to say 70s and 80s music. Beyond that, I don't know.
So, like, is your hobby Ancient Aliens?
Seriously, that's honestly, if I could get paid for it, I'd be a UFO researcher.
I would pay
honestly,
to put you on that show.
If I would get hired to be one of them dudes on that show, Yeah.
I bet we could do that.
We
could put in like
just
an
start our own
application.
show.
Oh.
Instead of Ancient Aliens, it could be rather new aliens. As opposed to ancient aliens. Aliens of today instead of ancient aliens.
What's going on in Alaska?
Well, right. And we'll never know. Because there's a couple possibilities. A, there was never anything there and they just made the story up.
Yeah.
B, there was something there and they know what it is, but they don't want to tell us. Or C, for whatever reason, they blew it to smithereens instead of trying to actually, somehow research what it is.
I know. Like, I want to know. Why can't you tell us that they said that like, aliens are real? Like, just let me see a UFO.
Well, if you watch Ancient Aliens, there's plenty out there. There's plenty of pictures. There's video.
Sometimes when I don't have anything, like one background music, I either watch Ghost Adventures or like Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Paranormal, I mean, that, to me, that isn't like a little green man alien, but if you see what I would say, like if you want to call it a ghost, a spirit, whatever, it would be sort of like an alien.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's not a little green man, but I don't necessarily believe the aliens are little green men anyway.
I don't think so either. I feel like that's just like a fun concept from a cartoon.
Gray. I think they're actually gray.
The gray men walking around.
But speaking of paranormal, like my hard thing with that, and I talked about this on another podcast, but when let's say did you ever see a ghost?
Yeah.
I mean, like not hear noises, but actually see an outline.
Like a shadow that freaked me out the one night. So our bar that we had owned, extremely, extremely haunted. I would not be in that place alone ever. Like it was scary. And our basement, it kind of looked, I don't know, have you ever been in the basement of the VFW?
One time.
Okay, so like it kind of looked like, it literally like the exact same like old vibe down there. And where like the kitchen is off to the side, we had like an office like downstairs.
Right.
And my grandpa had went upstairs for something, and I was sitting in this cold, damp basement, freaked me out. And I was sitting there doing my homework, like minding my business. I think I was like in 9th grade. And I'd heard a noise, and like I kind of just looked up and like literally saw this like black shadow just kind of like of a person creep along the wall, and I was terrified. And there was no one down in the basement with me.
Right.
So I like ran upstairs and told my pop, and he was like, oh yeah, I see that all the time. But like I was like, oh, I don't know about the shadow people, man. Like it's creeping on the wall. Like it was literally just like it was crazy because it wasn't like how a person's shadow looked. It's like it was like dark, like a dark shadow, and it just went along the wall.
There used to be a soap opera called Dark Shadows.
Was there really?
Yeah.
Was it about a shadow
person? It was about a vampire.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that's the little bit I know about it. But it was like when I was a kid, it was called Dark Shadows.
It's like the first Twilight ever made, the Dark Shadow. But yeah, that was like my experience.
So it wasn't you didn't see enough of it, or it didn't appear to be wearing some style of clothing.
No, it was like a literal like black like plastered on the wall shadow.
Person shaped.
Yes, very person shaped. Very it was weird the way it like blended in. I've never seen anything like that. It was
because here was always my concern, or not concern, but people that and at the White Swan they used to always see them. I never did. I always wished I would have, but workers there would see cups lift up and fly across the room after they were closed and stuff. So, but some of them claimed that they saw something and it had like maybe something that somebody would have worn during the Civil War time. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's a spirit that you see dressed in a certain time period clothing. Are you really seeing the dead person's spirit still dressed in that kind of garb? Or are you somehow in an area that you can look back in time and
I knew that's where you're going. Like,
that you could actually see them. What you're seeing is not their spirit, it's them
in their timeline. Yeah, like how
because why would a spirit wear some kind of clothing?
I guess it's true. I mean, what if that's all they know? But at the same time, if they're not aware of it, no. But that's right, because like I kind of thought, like you think about it, like they never say that time is. It's not like a straight line. It's like all wobbled together.
Yeah.
So like that could actually be the case. That'd be kind of cool though. Like we're all coexisting, but in different
Well, I
lines.
think in some, I think we are, whether it be we're coexisting, like we're here in the 2023 and there's somebody somewhere in another realm that's in the 1800s. But whatever spirits are, they're in a different realm.
Yeah,
they might,
and their energy just kind of
well, there might even be some down here, but our range of vision is such that we can't see them because they're in a different
frequency than we are.
Yeah,
that would actually be that's cool.
Well, how do you know?
You don't.
No.
You don't. And Ghost Adventures has never given me real answers, so I don't know.
See, where Ancient Aliens gives, the answer. They're telling you the answer.
They are telling you the pyramids were built by aliens.
But I mean, I don't know if it was aliens or giants.
Huh.
Because even in the Bible, there were giants.
Yeah, I know.
So for a giant to carry them humongous stones around might have not been that big of a deal.
Did Ancient Aliens think it was the giants?
It might have been giants, but the technology probably came from aliens. But the giants did the hard work. The aliens just were managing it.
That's probably the best thing I've ever heard. I did not expect giants to be in the mix there. I assumed just aliens.
Well, I think that's why, I think what happened is all the interbreeding of giants, aliens, humans, and you always heard of those, like those creatures that had a horse's head and a man's body or vice versa, like mythology thing. Well, I don't know that mythology was really mythology. I think it may have actually been the case. But when that got too freaky and out of hand, that's why the flood was.
That's
why the flood happened, to get rid of all that and start from scratch.
They actually did just find a 16 foot coffin
There were definitely giants
in Japan or something with one of those big old swords that's like
a saber, what
do you call that?
It used to be what John Belushi was on.
It has a big blade, but they had uncovered it. It was just not too long ago. I think it was over the summer. Big old blade, and then they kept digging, and they found a 16-foot coffin. And I've not heard any.
And who's to say that back in the day that wasn't considered a midget?
People. Oh my God. Could you imagine? A lot of people's theories was that there was just a lot of oxygen, so people grew tall.
Well, I think it was a lot of monkeying with DNA by the aliens. They would experiment.
Actually,
and they'd get all this weird stuff.
I want to play that sim.
Don't you ever wonder if we're a sim?
Yeah. For the amount of tasks that I cannot seem to remember or complete.
It's probably whoever, in whatever realm they're in, is controlling you.
Clicking on me.
Can't focus.
Give this girl max chaos. No focus at all. But lots of weird hobbies.
So when you were in school, and you've been diagnosed with whatever it is you have, and I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is. I'm not making fun of it.
No.
In fact, it might be beneficial.
I make fun of myself.
Well, but it might be beneficial to somebody else who might think how did you, I assume it was hard for you to sit still in your classroom?
Oh my God, yeah, it was awful. There was days where I could do it, and there was days that I just could not. Or I could not even literally focus on the board or what I was doing, honestly.
But you didn't know why at the time.
No, I didn't get it.
I thought you were
I thought I was lazy.
Well,
I thought I was
not lazy for it. I know now, I probably am more that way now than when I was in school. If I had to go to school or college now and sit in a class that I had no interest in,
yeah, that was my problem.
I couldn't stand. I know I wouldn't be able to stand it.
Yeah, it was
at this point.
I didn't like math because I wasn't very good at it. Things I did not like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't pay attention to it.
And I now I sort of get that, and I don't think I have any kind of issues, but I don't picture myself putting a whole lot of time into something that don't interest me.
Yeah, and that's a lot. That was a lot of the issue. I couldn't focus, especially if I really didn't like it. But there was days you get ups and downs, or unmedicated. There's days that I couldn't do anything, and then there's days that I could get everything freaking done. Like, I had 2 years worth of homework finished in like 2.5 seconds. And then the next day, all that's gone. Right off. No more motivation.
So at some point, I mean, were you even like that in elementary school, or did it only... you don't really remember if you were.
I was a little bit, because at first I didn't have any interest in reading at first. And then I went through some like crazy program.
Probably because, much like you said,
it didn't interest me.
It didn't interest me.
No.
Now, if they would have gave you a book about something you liked.
Yes, I was very into it.
And probably that wouldn't be I mean, schools are sort of regulated, and this is the reading book for third grade, whether you like it or not. This is what you're reading. But wouldn't it be better to say, pick your own book?
Yeah.
And then write an essay on it, or whatever you want.
And honestly, my first grade teacher, Miss McConnell, was, once again, she's the one that got me into reading eventually. She had suggested to my mom to put me into like this program where like it made me like I'm a speed reader now, and I won like a bunch of writing awards, like loved it. But she like made reading fun, and she's the person.
Won writing awards.
Yeah, I did. I did really good in reading and writing.
You know, when I was in elementary school, I know this is going to be far-fetched for you to believe.
I want to hear it. Tell me.
But in third grade, there was a time period where I had to stay in from recess and go to speech class.
No!
Honest to God. And as you see, it was a waste of my recess. It was a waste of my recess.
Did they teach you North Denver Hood?
Well, yeah, they tried to steer. They tried to take the North Denver Hood out of me. But actually, it was different words that I couldn't say back then. Like, I couldn't say R. Like, now I can say R like it's nothing. But I say bud instead of bird. Now I can say bird with the best of them. Now I overcompensate and say Aaron instead of Aaron.
Okay. Oh my God, I cannot believe that.
That was a failed experiment.
Blaming the aliens. Oh my God, I can't believe you did speech therapy.
Look how that worked.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty shocking for a lot of people, for the amount of...
But
does anyone else make fun of you when you go out? Like, to different places?
I think that's half the reason people come to my trivia. And I think they give a rat's ass about trivia. Honestly, I think of what it is. I think they think of me as like a train wreck.
What?
Like they just want to come and see what might come out of my mouth.
They want to know what
care. Yeah. And then the rest of the night, like I said the other night, some lady actually made me stand there and repeat this. And it, once I had to repeat it, it wasn't the same. But she filmed this because my question was, what is the area code of the White House? And she thought I said, what is the area code of the white ass? And so then once this happened, then everybody got on this, jumped on the bandwagon about
the torture of you.
But it's all right. I mean,
honestly,
I can deal with it. I don't have feelings anymore. They went away longer.
Honestly, I don't get it. I understand you. Like, I've never not understood you.
Well, I think there's some people that now, today, know exactly what I'm saying, but just like to pick on me. But I will say, there is a lot of newcomers, or if I do trivia at a strange place, some places I try harder than others to say words right, just depending on the audience, because...
I honestly didn't even freaking notice it at first until people started, like when I first started coming to trivia and started working there, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the accent, but also I'm really oblivious to lots of people, I'm like, just didn't faze me. I'm like, I get it. And then everyone's jumping on and they're like, flour. And I'm like, he's just saying flour, guys. It just has a little bit more of a...
Yeah, I'm glad to have somebody on my side.
Yeah, no, I get it. I didn't think there was anything wrong. I've heard some weird accents in my time.
Well, right. I mean, everybody it's sort of neat that everybody has their own. And there's a lot of people who I don't think have any kind of accent or anything.
Yeah, no.
But, and they're not all that fun to listen to. But like you said, you won writing awards. I will say this. I may not be able to talk, but if I'm writing a paragraph, if I post something on Facebook, I will be super picky about using the correct form of there or the word to with one O instead of two. And if I see, honest God, if it's up on my memory, say I get a memory thing today, and it had a post from 6 years ago, and I notice I used the wrong form, I'll go in and edit.
No, I didn't.
I am a stickler for spelling, and I can write very eloquently, I would say.
Wow.
That's a big word.
That was a great word.
And I said it.
And you said it right, too. You didn't say it with an accent.
Just because I talk like I have an IQ of 6 doesn't mean I have an IQ of 6.
I don't even think the accent. I mean, I guess like there is like the whole stigma around like the dumb Southern accent and stuff like that. But,
and mine is just, and really there is no, I mean, if there is North Denver hood, it's just me. That isn't really a recognized tongue.
Do you retain all the questions that you make up for trivia?
No, I would say not. Although I will say that by having to come up with questions for the last 5 years, I certainly wouldn't remember every answer to every question, but I will say that I would probably do much better at trivia now than I would have done before. There's things that I would probably say, hey, wait, I had that question. And then maybe remember it, that maybe I would have never known otherwise.
If it counts.
Like I'll always know from here on out a spermology.
Well, yeah, that is just special. I'll say that I did a little bit after I started doing trivia at the VFW. We did go to a different place the one night for dinner, and they had trivia. It was so boring. You're right. You're right. Multiple like question, like answers, boring. They weren't fun. It wasn't fun. I want to feel stupid. I just have a thing for it.
The only reason, I mean, at this point, I do the trivia because there are people who are actually into the trivia, but that's only my way of trying to make a fun evening out of it. It's not, like I could really care less about the questions. Yeah. I like just getting the people to laugh and have a good time and meet each other and make sort of more of a little fun party out of it than stand in a corner and monotonously read 10 questions and then go over the answers.
Yeah, honestly, it was not fun. I did not have a good time. I was like, this is boring. I'm never going to a different trivia again. Well, honestly, we stumbled into it. It wasn't supposed to be. I like your questions. They're fun. They make you think.
Well, right. And I have to because there are places I do trivia where, believe it or not, people know a lot of this stuff.
Really?
I mean, way more than I would know. But if I made it easy and 6 teams would get 100%, then it would be fun for nobody.
Yeah, you're right.
It's more fun getting some wrong, I think, than getting them all right and going home and thinking, well, that wasn't even fun. I knew all the answers.
I get a little competitive. I did threaten. Sorry, teammates. Did threaten them. Well, I had to take over. I had to work a Monday and like a Monday night, and we were on a strong winning streak, and I did threaten some lives. We did lose. Yeah.
But it's very, well, and some people are, and that's fine. But it, like I tell everybody, it don't matter. I don't care if you get 3 right or 30 right. It ain't about that.
It's about.
Don't go home and lose sleep over that. And don't feel dumb about it because it really has nothing to do with intelligence. It's about, I guess, being able to retain stuff that you saw.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It has nothing to do with how smart you are.
Yeah, I was just curious if because you're like doing it repetitively. No, you did say you alter some of your like questions.
I have to because there's some people that go to more than 1 a week. Yeah. Not many people, but enough to make me have to. Now, it's weird. Actually, there's one gentleman who goes every Tuesday to Big Dog and every Thursday to the Legion in Ephrata. If it wouldn't be for him, there are many weeks I could get away with using the exact same questions all 4 nights of the week because it is very little overlap. But
does he just like?
I guess, yeah. I mean, he has been playing. It used to be him and his wife, and she unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. But he actually started playing when I did it at what used to be Branson's out on 272. Used to be before that it was Black Horse. Then it was Island Time. Now it's ripped down. But for a period of time when Branson's first opened, I did trivia there on a Thursday.
I actually do remember Island Time.
Yeah, well, it was the same building.
For like 2 point. It wasn't even open that long. They bought it during. I think
it was sort of like during that, and it never. I was there once or twice and was never very. It was
one of my customers from La Piazza. They had opened it. I can't remember.
Oh, you used to work. Well, let's talk about that. Where your family had this business, and then other than shadowing that veteran guy, where did you work before the VFW?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I Well, when I first started, my family had the bar, and I first started over at actually the Horse Inn. My mom's boyfriend was like the head chef there, and I would help like make salads and stuff just for like, you know, you're 14,
Spending money.
like spending money. Then I had worked. My first like serving job was over at the sandwich factory. Like my very first serving job was at the sandwich factory. I was there for a little bit. Then I was at La P. I was at La Piazza for years and years and years.
I bet, I know we didn't go there all that frequently, but occasionally when we lived over outside Rossville and when my kid was, say, middle school, we would occasionally go there.
I worked in the bar area. I loved it. My coworkers and I were all really close, and then once they started kind of like leaving and stuff, I just wasn't that into it anymore. Yeah. It sucked when I had spent like 4 years with the same people, and then
new people came.
It was more of the boss was a little stressful at the time. He was.
He ended up.
Yeah. There was reasons. There was reasons everybody was leaving. It was definitely a mentally like wearing job that I was working, and at the time I was young. Like not that I'm not young now, but I just didn't I didn't have I was just living my life. Like, right. I didn't have like any obligations. I didn't have my 2 dogs. I didn't have like a boyfriend. Right. Like I didn't have I was just working all the time, and honestly didn't realize how much of a toll it took on my mental health, and that you actually probably shouldn't be treated the way that we were treated until I started working at the VFW, actually. I had worked
So you came to VFW right from La Piazza?
I actually was at Tobias Frog for a little bit. My family's first house was behind there. Oh. So I grew up going there. One of my girlfriends worked there, so I started over there when they had first opened.
That's the only place I've ever eaten frog legs.
Yeah, I tried them.
And I didn't.
It freaked me out.
It was too much like chicken.
Yeah, no,
I don't eat chicken.
I honestly almost kind of threw up. Like, I think it was just like knowing it was frog. It killed me. But I was working the same hours that I didn't want to work anymore. Like, I was tired of. I was going in at 4:00 in the afternoon. I wasn't leaving until like 5 in the morning. Like, I was not getting home until 5 in the morning. And we had just adopted Astro at the time. He's a rescue, big old love bug. We had just adopted him, and my boyfriend was going to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I was getting home, and I was only sleeping like 3 hours because he wasn't on a schedule, and it was awful. I was like, I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So then, in the middle of this, COVID happened, and I just started there. So we shut down in like March.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't actually, like, they gave me apparently like everybody had quit over COVID, and there was no notice. And at this time, my boyfriend and I were buying our house, and they basically just called me and told me I had to show up to work the next day with like 0 notice. And apparently I was literally one of 4 people that was like still employed there. And the problem was though is that we had like home inspections and stuff, and like they didn't really seem to care that like they didn't give me any notice, right. And that I had like other things going on in my life. Like I had to beg to like go.
Right.
And get a home, go to my home inspection that my grandpa was doing. Like it was a big deal. Like it was a big deal. So I left there. I actually started working at the VFW on a whim. That was not
How did you? I got to ask you because I know that even to this day, if your normal route to the VFW is somehow blocked, you get lost.
Oh yeah. I'm not.
So how did you even know the Ephrata VFW existed?
So that's like so my friend was looking for jobs, and she lives in the Lidditz area, and her boyfriend, like I was just talking about, or her ex, or it wasn't her boyfriend, whatever. He lives down here, I'm telling you. Lives in the area, like on this street somewhere, and we were just looking at places for her to like find a new job at. Now I think I forget where she was at that time. Trios maybe? I forget.
And at the time you weren't really anywhere.
Yeah, no. At that time, like we were still just getting our house up and moving and stuff like that. Like I was getting a lot of that stuff in order, and we were looking for like jobs for her, and the Cacalco VFW kept popping up. I was like, why don't we swing in there? Like it says part-time, like, whatever, like, go ahead. So we go in. First off, never been in there. Rang the doorbell. Everybody's staring at you. I'm like, man, this is awkward.
That is true, though, and I think I don't know that they're staring.
People they don't know.
Well, like, but I think it's not really that everybody is nosy there. I think.
Oh my God, yes, we are.
Well, right, but it's the ringing of the bell that attracts their attention. Like if people were, and I realize,
bell I hear it in my nightmares.
They're not. I realize there's rules, and that's the way it is. But if you were at a public place and somebody walks in the door, you really don't go check them out.
Yeah, no.
Because nothing draws your attention.
Yeah, you're right.
But when that bell rings, everybody's like...
To our regulars that lock themselves out, I call it the doorbell of shame. It's funny. So we went there, and she started filling out an application. They were like, I think it was Ashley. Ashley was there, and she's like, do you want an application too? And I was like, no. And then she turned around and I literally looked her dead in the eyes and said, fuck it, give me one too. So I did. I just filled it out. I was like, you know what, whatever.
So Ashley...
Heather interviewed me. Oh, okay. Ashley was on bar at the time. Because you've been there, what, 2 years now? No, actually, it's just a year.
Oh, just a year.
In February. People also didn't believe me, though.
Somehow it seems like I've known you for about 30 years.
I know, that's what I was you had to be here 2 years. No, actually, like, my social membership, like... for when I first started, runs out this month. So it's only been like a year.
Speaking of which, I saw last night you won some Kate Spade.
Oh yeah, I won the purses. I won them both. Like, that's the only time
you won both?
Yeah.
In two different things, like, or one drawing was two purses.
Ash, like, in the tickets, like, Ashley gave me, like, all the signers. And she didn't mean to. It's gambling. Right. But I never win anything. Chris and I tried so hard for that freaking snowblower, and we did not even get it. I didn't even need it. I just wanted it. Yeah. I never win.
So now you won that.
Yeah, I did. I got
like expensive. Like, I don't know.
I guess. I honestly don't. I'm not much of a purse person. Yeah. Like, I only really started using them because I was getting tired of I used to just like carry everything in my backpack because like
So you were a backpacker.
I was.
See, that's that's another weird thing about, like, when I was a kid, there was no, I don't even know, unless you were hiking the Appalachian Trail, you didn't have a backpack.
I liked it because I could fit all my junk in there, like
kids nowadays have,
stuff.
Like when we went to school, I mean, we had books, but you might walk around with 5 books under your arm, loose.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's
Kelly's from the days when they used to walk 2 miles to school.
Yeah, carrying 5 books under your arm.
I guess, didn't they have like those belt things that could like loop around them? You know what I'm talking about?
They did. I never had any.
You've never seen one of those? Like, I feel like they use them in like movie props or something for like school.
But no, it was loose. You had to learn how to squeeze them so they didn't like slide out from each other.
Are you freaking kidding
me? No.
You get messenger bags. You just had to like walk around with loose books.
Bags. Well, we had gym bags. But they were just denim with a drawstring.
I would have lost so much stuff.
Yeah, somehow.
I still lost my backpack a lot, too. I don't know.
So instead of losing one thing,
I lost everything. I'm very good. There's, like, things that I, like, unmedicated, I used to do, like, I'd pick up and put down bad habits. Like for a week, I would leave my freaking keys, like, in my apartment door, like, outside, like, in the lock. Then I stopped that, but I couldn't stop leaving my wallet in the car, and then that would stop, and then I couldn't stop forgetting my backpack in different places. It's just an ongoing thing. Yeah, I lost a lot of things in my time. The one thing I never did lose is my wallet. Knock on wood.
Yeah,
that is the most important thing.
I don't know that I ever lost mine either. I do have a bad habit of... and Paul, when he's around, it always lectures me. That's the cop in him. But I always leave my phone lay on the bar. Like, if I go to the bathroom, and I got in that habit at the White Swan, because that used to be about the only place I ever went.
Right.
And I was very trusting of everybody there, and I really didn't think somebody's going to pick up my phone. And if it did, the bartender would see it or whatever. And I have a hard time now, like everywhere, if I have it out on the bar, I don't even think about it, and I'll go to the bath. And you know, I don't really worry about it at the VFW.
Me neither.
But there's places where I've never been, and I'll do that.
Oh gosh, no, and you can do it in some places.
Well,
but
right, and I guess I got too comfortable just doing it.
You can do it at the VFW, but if you do it, Michelle will steal your phone and take thousands of pictures.
Well, Paul has done that to me already, as trying to teach me a lesson.
Yeah, they do it to Chris Hill a lot too. Yeah. Chris's camera roll is full of all our lovely faces. That's the one. I do the same thing. I just leave. I leave my junk everywhere to the point that I'm pretty sure I am the reason we got the lockers. I think Amy's sick of seeing all my junk.
You got lockers at the VFW?
Yeah, we just got them. Rhea and I are going to decorate them with stickers. They're downstairs. I have not touched them yet.
Okay.
I feel like I'm afraid that if I put them downstairs, like put my stuff downstairs in the locker,
you're going to leave without it.
Yes, and I'm going to need something, and I'm going to run up down the steps 200 times a day, and it's not.
But now you got new steps to run up and down.
Yeah, but man, the amount of times, like, some days when I have to go up and down those steps that much, I'm like, man, I'm out of shape because this is killing my legs. Like, I am dying going up and down. So, I think I am the reasons for the lockers because I also leave my work shoes there. Now, my feet don't stink, so, like, I promise. My shoes do look like they've been through some shit because they have, but I'll freaking forget. I used to, like, leave the house without them. I had just, like, I don't know how. I would have, like, my slippers or something on, leave, and then I'd be like, oh, turn my ass back around to go get my work sneakers. So I just started leaving them there. And I was happy with that.
Yeah, well, and if you're going to change shoes anyway, you might as well be there.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to worry about it.
I do sometimes treat the bar like my locker room. I'll give them that. I do. I leave.
So you got this job at the VFW sort of on the spur of the moment, like.
Yeah, I actually and everyone has admitted this to me. All of our regulars, they did not think I was going to last. I know I can be a lot for people.
I remember the very first time when you were there, and I think it was with your friend. You were both there at the same time.
Yeah.
Might have been your first day, and it's not like I'm there every day, but it was a Saturday that I saw you, I believe. And I think we asked what your name was, and for a little while I thought it was Melissa, not Alyssa.
Oh, that's typical. Yeah, Ashley had trained us, like, just together, which kind of made sense because I think at the time, like, her car had broken down or something. It made sense. She did not stick around, and everybody, I think, they really did not think I was going to be there long.
Do you like it?
I love it. I love my customers. I have a great time. It's hard to find a place that you like. Like, I have to, like, you can't go, like, any other job. Like, I know, like, people are like, I hate my job, like, but they have to do it to make money. Right. In the bartending and serving, if you don't like your coworkers and you don't like your customers.
There's other jobs out there.
It is, like, it is too hard to go to work. Like, you're there to be, first off, you're serving people, but with the expectation of having some type of social interaction with them at the same time. And if you can't like the people you are serving or the people you are working for, it is the worst thing in the world. Like, I did have a job a couple places that I hated. And in the industry, like, you can leave and go somewhere else and try it. But there's not a lot of places that you get, like, where you love everything. Like, yes, I don't love everything. Some days
suck.
Some
no
days
matter what you're doing.
But I can't complain. Like, it's awesome. I don't dread going into work. I don't hate being there. I always have a fun time when I'm busy or not.
And honestly, I mean, the VFW being a VFW, and there's a large mix of people with all kinds of different backgrounds that go in.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
You know, for me, I love it there. I mean, it took me a while, even like when I started doing trivia there, I feel like it took me a while to get accepted.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's totally a thing. I got some side eyes.
You know, I'm not a veteran. More power to those that are. You're way more of a man or lady than I ever.
Oh yeah, heck no.
But
nobody
I'm not.
can give me a gun.
So that I couldn't rely on. Oh, you know, I was in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know, and I only joined the VFW when we moved here, which was only 6 years ago. And we didn't go, you know, I'm not there every day or whatever. So when I started doing trivia, it was the only place that I ever really started doing trivia where for a little bit of time, I thought, you know, these people just don't like me. I mean, they might not hate me, but they just don't want to.
I do understand.
They don't want to sit here and listen to this bullshit.
Do you know how long it took me to win Chris Hill over? Chris, do you know how long? She does. Literally, I was getting...
But I really felt like, you know, they don't want to sit here and listen to me rambling on with these questions. And then I don't know what it was or when it happened, but then I think some of the regulars decided, what the hell, this guy's here anyway, I might as well give this a shot.
Yeah.
And then And then it became like, if it wasn't for those regulars now, we probably wouldn't have trivia there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they sort of look forward to it.
Heck yeah, every Monday, we're ready.
But it took a while. I mean, it was like I wasn't part of the clique, if there is a clique.
Kelly's like back in high school all over again, with carrying his books to class with no backpack.
See, now I got a box I carry everything in. It ain't a backpack; it's a plastic box.
So just as good. I mean, it's a container. No, I get it.
But I mean, I sort of feel honored that I did, at some point, get slightly accepted into
to the world.
Club,
I couldn't even tell you who the first person that actually was like.
But I see the same
finally
issue
kind of nice.
Well, but I see you being how you are.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You are who you are, but I couldn't see you running around at a highfalutin bar where there's a bunch of ritzy people.
Oh, fudge no. I was like not made for fine dining.
No, and I can't see me sitting there hanging out with them either. Like now when I go to the VFW and it has nothing to do with trivia, I know that people will acknowledge I'm there and we'll talk and they,
try to have a conversation with you. Yeah.
No, and I feel honored that I made it from the point of being sort of feeling like, all right, these people just don't like me, to being accepted.
Yeah.
I mean, by people who are way more of a hero than I'll ever be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Trust me. There for a little bit, when I first started there, I was like, man, I'm a lot. I know I'm a lot. I know my personality. I'm very open in who I am. Actually, I think it might have been like Karen, Royer, and Ben who were like the first people that really accepted me now, which is kind of shocking because Ben's face for a little bit, I wasn't quite sure about that Ben can. I did, he looks so serious, but after a while, I go over to Karen and Ben's and we cook and we do fun things, and I think they were the first people to really try and get to understand and know me.
Right.
And then becoming also friends with Ashley, who had been there a lot longer, and being the manager there and stuff, kind of helped push, open up that I'm not just a frickin' nut job, basically.
Right.
And
yeah.
that I can do my job.
But I could see places, I mean, there's places that probably to this day think I'm a nut job, but I could see that being because you are the way you are, and there's nothing wrong with the way you are. I enjoy how you are, but I can see people that might not enjoy how you are.
Yeah, no, I totally, yeah, I can see
think
that.
it's pretty neat the way you are, but
especially I can talk a mile a minute. We all know this. I also get distracted super easily.
Yeah.
But when it comes to serving and bartending and stuff, multitasking's really good for me, which is why I really love it.
Yeah.
Even medicated, I love it. I can do it. I want to go, and that's why once people accepted that I'm not just dawdling around the bar, and I can actually do it, and I've been
right.
And when it was the first time after I had just started there, and I got super slammed on a band night, and I stayed on top of it, and the next day everybody was all right, she's good.
Yeah.
I stayed on top of my stuff. I wasn't just being who I am. Once I'm busy, I'm freaking busy.
Right.
I'm going.
Yeah. But I think they once they knew you actually could do the job you're there to do, probably made a little bit of difference.
Yes, it did. It did. I still will never forget the looks I was getting from Chris Hill. I won't. I was man, this girl's never gonna like me. And then when she started finally liking me, I was yeah. I thought that was the one bear I was never going to be able to poke and accept me, but she did.
Yeah,
she did.
Well, actually,
now you're stuck with me, Chris.
Well, and honestly, trivia now. At the end of trivia last Monday when you weren't there, I don't know his last name. I didn't know his first name till he told me. But Dennis has oxygen.
Yes.
Always he's not there every Monday, but he's been in and out every now and then on a Monday, and every now and then if I go on a Saturday, he'll be there. And again, I mean, he's an old war veteran, deserves anything that anybody can give him. And when I was done with trivia, he came over. Well, he was sitting at his stool, and I was putting my stuff away. He said, "Hey, when you're done carrying that out, come over here. I want to talk to you." And honestly, I thought he's going to have something negative to say.
Yeah.
And I went back over thinking, all right, I'm going to get grilled. I'm going to get chewed out for something. And he said, "I want to tell you something." He said, "You bring so much joy into this place. There's laughter when you're here. He said, I don't play trivia, but when I'm here and you're here, there is so much fun and laughter in this place. I would be honored to buy you a beer.
Oh my God, damn, that's a lot coming from Dennis, because he's
and
not normally like that.
At first I said, because I was just drinking club soda that night, and I said, I thanks a lot, I appreciate it, and he said, no, really, I want to buy you a beer. I said, all right, I'll have a Yingling Light, but no, I mean. Wow.
Actually, that's a very big compliment coming from Dennis.
And he rehashed it. But he said he told me I have a gift, that I'm able to come in there and create the joy that goes on.
Honestly, it is a lot of fun.
I mean, it probably is just as much fun every other night of the week. I don't know.
It is. But like, no, trivia, like a lot of people, I like the trivia you do. It is fun. You do make it fun, because they're hard questions, so you got to ask other questions. But it gets everybody going.
It does, and I think once people found out that, I'm there to have fun. I'm not there to see how smart they are or whatever. And if they pick on me, I can pick on them back.
Absolutely.
And nobody really leaves feeling like they were picked on.
We all love to be honest, I feel like our love language there 95% of the time is to pick on you. I pick on people.
And I'm fine with that. Like I say, if I worried about everybody at this point in life, if I worry about everybody that would make fun of me, I'd probably never leave the house.
I know. I feel
I certainly wouldn't post as much on Facebook. And I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you on a Saturday morning.
Oh my God, yeah, it is brutal. Saturday morning, I literally was like opening my eye. I set my alarms for PM too. I can't even believe I woke up. Like, I got home at like 3.
Like I say, we went to the VFW last night, got something to eat, and then we left probably 7:30. And Mac was there, and I said, I got to get home and rest. I got this podcast tomorrow morning. And he said, good luck. And then this morning, Amy sent me a message.
No, she didn't.
She said, hey, good luck this morning. I can't even believe that you talked her into getting up this early. I said,
yes.
I said, it wasn't even my idea. And I said, originally, she told me she wanted to do it at 9 o'clock, and I suggested 10:30.
I'm so glad we did not do 9 o'clock. I was opening my eyes, and I was like, I felt like a raccoon that just ate too much trash. Like, I was like, oof. I woke up, I was like, like I said, I'm surprised. I woke up because my alarms weren't going
I
off.
honestly probably figured, after I heard that you were out at this party, whatever you were doing last night, it really wouldn't have surprised me, and I wouldn't have really been pissed if I would have got a message, hey, can we do this some other time? But I'm pretty honored in your dedication.
We were talking about it at the strip club last night. They're like, you'd be good to do this tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going hungover.
You did fine.
Yeah, no, I did. I honestly, I feel like I didn't drink. I probably drank a lot more than I thought I did. I think it was if I slept.
And how does drinking and your medication work?
So I guess it could depend. It doesn't do anything like different for me, because like when I'm taking my meds, I'm just becoming like a normal person. Yeah. Now I'm not going to say that it doesn't, like, it'll definitely raise like the tolerance in anything you're doing. Like, I can't, like a normal drink for a person isn't going to be the same for me, but like,
as in it's going to be,
it's
more
not
potent or less potent?
Less.
Okay.
And if you're gonna abuse the medication, which a lot of people do to stay up and stay out drinking and stuff, it'll catch up to you and you'll get sick. Right. And like as soon as it wears off, it's flushes hits. But honestly, it's really not any different for me, just because like it's how I have to function. Yeah. Like it can make me a little nauseous just because it is an amphetamine, but it'll make me nauseous like sometimes when I take it on empty stomach or after drinking. So even though your issue is, and I'm just going to use the word, being flighty and not being able to focus, yeah. I would think you would not be on an amphetamine. I think you'd be on a downer. Actually, no. Downers, like, so when I'm taking my Adderall, it's replacing like dopamine and serotonin that like gives you motivation to be a person. Like I said, there's days where I can do it. and then there's days that I couldn't. Like, the days that I could, it was because my body just had enough of the stuff that people naturally produce for me to be that person. And then the next day, that's all gone. Like, it's easier. My levels go up and down. So it replaces, like, what you need to make you level. So, like, I don't, like, people are always like, oh, how much Adderall did you take today? It doesn't make me speed. It doesn't, like, make me, like, cracked out. Like, it's like if you would drink a cup of coffee and you're ready to go for the day. Like, that's literally what it is.
Okay.
Downers would probably make me tired and probably less productive.
Okay.
Because of the fact that they're downers. Probably just want to chill there, like.
So you have, I mean, your actual diagnosis is what, ADHD?
Yeah, ADHD.
I mean,
it's.
I mean, it's not, I'm not saying that to pick on you.
No. A lot of people, like, they use it as a generalized term. Like, oh, that, like, I'm still ADHD. Like, being actually ADHD is so much more
worse than just being a little flighty.
Yeah. Like, it's, you can't remember, like, oh my God, the amount of things that, like, I can't get done, couldn't remember, like, unmedicated, like, it is insane. And then when I first, like, started taking my medication, it was like a whole new world. I was like, wow, this is how people actually work. Like, this is insane. All my bad habits stopped, like I said, stop leaving things places, just like the little things that I used to do or the bigger things that would frustrate me, like so much. Like, I'd be in tears some days because I'm literally walking out the house, but I forgot everything I needed. And then I have to, like, go back, and it's just like putting things down. Like, I could never keep track of anything. I put it down, never remembered where I put it. And then I'd spend hours looking for whatever the frick this thing was, and it fell, like, deep into the couch or something stupid. Like, it sucks. And, like, not being able to do things like everyone else sucks. Like, I would have loved to, like, get up and be able to sit there and focus on my schoolwork and stuff, but I could only do it every other day.
Yeah. So if now that you've been on this medication for however long you've been on it, if, let's just say for whatever reason, you would not be able to be on it anymore, would you become depressed and not do anything?
So I've had, like, I have days where a couple days where I don't take it. Honestly, like, it doesn't do that to me. Like, the first day if I don't take it, like, I love to have a good no meds day. Because sometimes you gotta, like, chill out. Yeah. I don't like to take it if I don't have to.
Right.
I could lay on the couch all day and stuff like that, but no, it doesn't really hurt me. Like, it doesn't.
It's not like you get.
I don't
because
get, like,
you're so
sad.
used to the feeling of being on it that if you're not on it, it's like you're depressed.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, a lot of people, like, I've never had an issue of a come down. I guess I guess some people, like. I see where some people are, like, say it makes them, like, depressed and all kinds of other stuff. I mean, it doesn't, like, I don't know, it just doesn't do that for me. Like, I've never had a...
Well, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, no, I've never had, why can't I think of the word? Like a...
Withdrawal?
Yes. No, yeah, I don't know. I've always been, like, my just never hurt me like that. I mean, there was, like, a week where I didn't... they messed up my meds. Like, they didn't fill it at the time at the pharmacy. I could feel, like, it wasn't about coming down. It was about the chaos that had been, like, created then. Like, as in, I went back to everything that I didn't like doing because I wasn't medicated. That sucks. I think that's the worst part. Like, you're so used to being organized, and then all of a sudden, all my organization's out the window. And you're like, you forget how much that had managed you.
So you're used to being organized now, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
But that's not something that's now, you haven't been trained to do that. It's your meds that are doing it. Like, because if you don't, like, if
basically.
you couldn't stop your meds, but because you've now been organized because of your meds, you wouldn't continue.
No. You just don't even realize, like.
No, I don't. I mean, and
it's so hard to, like, it's so hard to explain. Yeah, no, it just, I didn't have them for a week, and then all of a sudden, like, I can't get anything done, and all of a sudden, like, once again, my bad habits are back, and all kinds of, that was probably the worst thing for me. That's it. I like knowing where my things are and not
Well,
losing
right.
them.
And if you need your meds, you need your meds.
And I didn't even realize that was like a part of ADHD until like I started taking the meds. And then I started like looking into it a little bit more like after my doctor had told me like I should probably try and get on this, because like I didn't want to do it for a long time because my family had issues with like drugs in the past and stuff.
Right.
And I was uneducated in the fact that I thought if I was taking the Adderall that I was going to get addicted to Adderall.
Right.
But in reality, if you need the Adderall, it doesn't do. Because I've had friends.
It's only if you wouldn't need it and you take it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't know that. So when I finally started researching into it and stuff, and I started taking it, I was like, okay, this is the best thing in the world.
So if somebody took it that didn't need it, what would be?
Probably be like people like you doing cocaine,
No.
or like you're just like, I don't know what's like. I guess speeding is like, I don't know what fucking speeding is.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
So
I'm assuming you're like.
But you got to find out your correct dosage, or everybody takes.
I'm gonna be honest. You gotta experiment, and that's what sucks. There's different ones. There's like, you got Ritalin, Vyvanse, Adderall, like there's Adderall, like there's different forms. Like mine is just Adderall. Like there's instants, there's extendeds, there's capsules. I started on Vyvanse and that did not help for some. It just did not work for me. So extended, I also learned did not work for me, like extended releases, because it's not instantaneously. Like, and with my type of ADHD, that wasn't going to work for me, because it'll give you like burst extendedly, which means it could take like an hour to kick in, and by then my whole day is out the window. Yeah. So we did instance because it instantly works as soon, like after like 30 minutes of waking up, and it's like a normal start of the day. It worked for me.
So that's what you have now.
Yeah, you have to like you can't like match it.
So is it a once a day deal, or you?
So technically, like I have 20 milligrams. I'm supposed to take I take half a pill in the morning, and then I'm supposed to take the other half at night, or like midday.
If you take it at night, does it keep you awake?
Nope.
Okay.
Actually puts me to sleep if I take the second half in the morning at night. Yeah. You'd be surprised. Like in the morning, like if I don't have to, I don't really take the whole thing. First off, I accidentally took my meds, my whole med yesterday, which I did not mean to. It dulls my sparkle. I don't think that's fine. I don't want to completely go out.
No.
And I hyper focus as in like I'm probably doing the 1,000 things that I already like needed to do, but there's no pulling back. And I don't like to be like that, especially since I had like a lot to do yesterday. But it makes me tired, actually. If I take this, sometimes like I'll have to take it like going into work at night, and I'm pulling up and I'm tired. I'm like exhausted. I'm like, damn. Like I gotta work all day. Like it sucks. Like I can go to sleep on it, and if I don't take it, I still
go to sleep.
I can still go to sleep, but honestly, I can still stay up all night too. It's vice versa. It doesn't really change my sleep patterns.
Okay. Well,
I know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
You would have thought somehow it would.
You would think. Yeah, like.
But I guess again, if you need it, that's probably why it really doesn't mess with you. And if somebody didn't need it and took one at night, they'd probably be up all night.
Yeah, they would be. Instead, I'm like trying to keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
At like work, like I went in the other day and I was like, damn. I'm tired. I can't do it. I was like, I don't want to do this. It takes so much. I got to like keep moving. But yeah, it does put you to sleep.
All right. Well, this is the longest podcast I've ever had. 1 hour and 23 minutes.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
You
know I can do it for...
Oh, well, we could sit here all day, really. Is anybody going to watch any longer? Although I do suspect that, I don't know if the TVs at the VFW are smart TVs and you can watch YouTube, but maybe...
Oh, yeah, you can.
Well, maybe this will be on this afternoon.
I did. Brent told me he was going to watch it, so I did totally call him out about the stripper thing.
Okay.
I couldn't help it. A bunch of people
got any parting words? And you're always welcome to come back again when Paul's here. Even though you and Paul don't run the same streets, apparently.
We don't run in the same streets, but I do like Paul. When I get to see Paul every once in a while.
It might be good for Paul to sit down and someday with you and me
Yeah, Paul, let's do it.
Yeah, all right.
He'd have a good time.
Yeah.
Talk more about engineering.
Not quite as talkative as the rest of us, but...
I can get it out of him.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And he shies away from paranormal and aliens and stuff. But
I think that's so
that's
funny.
a cop in it. They brainwash them cops to not believe that kind of
He's
stuff.
got to have seen something weird in his lifetime.
But he was probably sworn to secrecy. You know, like the people that worked at Area 51, they only tell you about it on their deathbed. You know, because they're afraid they're going to get killed otherwise.
I guess that's true. Oh my gosh.
All righty, thanks for tuning in on the first episode of 2023. Will they ever get any better than this?
Oh, I hope so.